Well, hello there and good day. Thank you for joining me. I am Frost PDP, and today we're going to talk a little bit about Crusader Kings 2, and in particular about one event that popped up for me. So, it's got to do with the Conclave, I'm pretty sure. My marshal is Grand Mayor Frederick of Carolyn, right? Okay. He is training troops. And worrying reports have reached me regarding my marshal, the Grand Mayor. It seems he's been using your soldiers to extort money from the peasantry and just. So let's take a moment to dissect exactly what he is doing. He's using my soldiers, which right there is a red flag, to take money from the peasants. So when you take money from peasants, two things happen. Number one, they have less money to give you in the future, right? You've crushed down on the ability of them to invest, to make money, etc., etc. So naturally, you're going to suffer a lower tax rate no matter what. However, as pissed off as the peasants are going to get no matter what, and you should get revolt risk for this, there are two options here on how to deal with it, and the option you choose should affect the outcome. The first option is he has forfeited his office. I get peasant unrest. The Grand Mayor gets peasant unrest, apparently, but, like, I guess I don't. I don't know if that's written right. I assume that is trust, right? So just gets penalized. So it's just that one province. Okay, that's what it should be. Just want to make that clear, because in case it's not clear, because it says the Grand Mayor gets it, but really I get it. And it really should just be the County of Trust gets. But anyhow, you get that for 3 years. You get a plus 10% tax revolt. You get a plus 10% revolt risk, which is really tax revolt because they're being taxed, and a 50% tax modifier. He loses 50 prestige, he no longer is marshal, and I hate him. Okay, so right there you have a baseline. If you do the right thing and kick the guy out, your local revolt risk is still 10%. That's really high, but it makes sense. This guy's been using his troops to do things. Now, what happens if I deal with him later? In other words, I don't deal with him. Number one, nothing changes. It's not a longer duration. It's not a higher revolt risk. I can understand the tax modifier not changing because the money that's gone is still gone, right? I mean, unless I could have an offer to, like, if high stewardship might say repatriate the money, like you could pay to not have the tax revolt, and maybe that would be worth it. Just a thought. Diplomacy, you could also probably have some sort of thing where you diplomatically soothe it over and you reduce things. But look, just by firing the guy, nothing changes. You don't get a lower revolt risk. Like, I would imagine, if I were Paradox, I'd say, well, look, if you fire the guy, you lose him as a marshal. You don't like him as much. He's probably got a penalty malice for being thrown out, and then he's no longer marshal, so if you want him, you have to rehire him, especially if he's a powerful vassal, which in this case he's not. But I don't have any powerful vassals that are any near as good. I don't think. So, if I do nothing, I get the same exact penalty, I just don't lose the marshal. So, there's really no reason for me to pick this. There's no incentive here, Paradox, for this to be fixed. So fix this, guys. This is a really easy one. Number one, and I've done videos about, like, hey, we need more events. And this is a cool event. It's a difficult choice, right? And it should be tied to his virtues and whatnot. Like, he should be greedy. He should have to have greedy for this thing to fire, but since he's greedy, it should fire. He should be greedy. He's not. He's ambitious. I guess maybe that's an ambitious and wrath, maybe? Like, a combination should be required for this to trigger in the first place. But since he has these traits, or doesn't, and he's on my council, he decided to get greedy. Fine, I understand he should have the greedy malice too. Whatever. If I kick him out, that number should be at least half. The revolt risk number should be half. Why? Because I've actually done something about it. The people should recognize peasants mollified. Call it peasants mollified. It's still a revolt risk, but either make it for less time or less percentage. Just because that makes the game a little more balanced. It means that there's a reward for what you do. And it should be once you kick somebody out of marshal, you can't just reappoint them. Like, watch. I'm going to skip over a minute for my campaign, and I'm going to kick him out of being marshal, right? Oh no, he's not marshal anymore. Guess who I can appoint as my marshal? Him, for no penalty whatsoever. So I've basically just dodged the entire thing. Oh shit, time started running. I've basically dodged the critical issue at hand which is getting rid of him as a marshal. Like, he just probably doesn't like me as much, right? I don't like him as much. But look, oh, and it doesn't even have a penalty. So, Paradox, you need to fix this. I'm not going to try to switch screens and put up a PowerPoint on what you need to do. I'm just going to say that this is an idea for an event that you could really improve and make a little deeper. And again, based on the character's diplomacy score and stewardship score, you should be able to offer offsetting things. And maybe I can't, but I don't know that because I don't see it. Which brings me around to another small thing. Maybe make the diplomacy and other options, like when you get requests for land and you have to deny it, but you can deny it diplomatically. Maybe just have that grayed out, like, you are not good enough for this. And maybe even have ones for really low, like if you really want to screw something up, be like, I'm not just going to grant you your land, not grant you your land, I'm going to imprison you for it. Like, something like that would be cool. I remember Fallout 3 did that with some of the low intelligence options, where you can just opt for your character to be completely insane. So, just a thought. That's me. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe buttons. Support this channel, it really does help. Leave a comment if you have an idea on how to make this suggestion better. But I want to thank you all for joining me, and as always here, La Paz!